Hey everybody, it's Professor Hatch. Sorry for the mood lighting. My ceiling lamp is not working. I want to talk about the rhetorical analysis essay. I'm going to share my screen. I'd like very much to share my screen. There we go. All right. So here's the prompt. I guess I'll just start reading it. You are to analyze James Baldwin's essay, Notes of a Native Son. You'll notice there's a link there. I provide the essay for you. Identifying significant examples of ethos, pathos, and/or logos he uses, and explaining how each appeal he makes either strengthens or weakens the argument being made to his target audience. This is a large chunk of text to analyze. It's about 20-ish pages. So the first thing you need to do before writing is determine who Baldwin's audience is and what the thesis of his essay is, or what is the central point of his essay. And there's a couple options for what the main point of the essay is, but only a couple. So anyway, we'll get to that when you start reading it, which is in 3 months, probably. Okay, so but what you need to do then, obviously, is click on the link, Notes of a Native Son, read that. You don't need to click on this link for ethos, pathos, or logos unless you need a refresher on what those things are. They are rhetorical devices that help people make arguments. Um, Pathos is an appeal to emotions. Logos is an appeal to logic. Ethos is an appeal to like the writer's sense of credibility. Um, this is not an essay in which you explain why you agree or disagree with Baldwin's argument. This is a lot of my essays. I want your opinion. This is not one of them. This is just straight up rhetorical analysis to show that you can read the essay, identify, obviously the author is James Baldwin, but identify who his target audience was. Who do you think he wanted to read his essay? And then what is his main point? And then once you have those things, uh, under the procedure part here, um, for the intro paragraph, I want you to give a short summary of the selected text, meaning the essay that Baldwin wrote. And I want you to introduce the speaker, Baldwin, the audience, who his intended audience was, and what the main point was. And then the intro paragraph needs to end with a thesis statement of your own. And if you want an example of that, I'm sure, uh, no, I'll definitely be recording a slightly longer video for the outline assignment. So take a look at that. And then in the body paragraphs, so throughout the entire essay, Baldwin makes several claims, or what is the wording I use? um, doesn't matter. Anyway, in the essay, Baldwin makes several claims. So find a claim, like he says, in one paragraph of this essay, he says something along the lines of, every black person understands the weight of white people, the weight of being in the world with white people, something like that. So that is a claim he's making. The What you need, if you want to use that particular claim for one of your body paragraphs, what you need to do is decide, is he, when he makes this claim, is he using ethos, pathos, or logos? Is he making an appeal to your emotions? Not to me. I don't see pathos, but I'm also a middle-aged white dude who has never experienced anything like what Baldwin had to experience when he was my age. For the record, he was a gay black man who came of age like in the 30s, I think. Probably just a terrible time to be those things in this country. Um, and I know it's still hard for both communities now, but I don't know, 100 years ago it seems nightmarish to me. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. So anyway, I don't feel that he is using pathos in that particular claim. Um, I also don't feel as though he's using logos. There's nothing inherently logical about the statement that black people know what it is to feel the weight of white people in the world. I wish I had a better memory. Um, but so I'm going with ethos because he's right. A, he's writing about himself. We're talking about the man's credibility here. So he is speaking not only as of his own experiences, but he's also speaking about his experience as a black man, uh, coming of age in the 30s. Again, I believe it's in the 30s. So yeah, I'm going to say he's got some credibility on that. Just as I have a little credibility on what it's like to be a 56-year-old bald white guy college professor. Um, so anyway, does he use ethos, pathos, or logos? I'm saying in this example, he's using ethos. And then does that claim and his use of ethos strengthen or weaken the overall point of his essay? So, like, let's just pretend that the point of the essay, I don't want to say what I think it is because I want you to read it and have your own opinion about this, but uh, let's just say that the point of his essay is that racism sucks, which no shit. But let's just say that his essay, the central thesis of his essay, Notes of a Native Son, is that racism is bad. Um, so the claim that black people understand what it is to live with the weight of white people. Um, he's using ethos, in my humble opinion. Does this strengthen or weaken his overall point? And just off the top of my head, I honestly think it strengthens his point because I don't know what it is to live with the weight of white people. Um, but I know what it is to live with the weight of people who make my life more difficult than it needs to be. Um, so I think it's strengthening his overall point. And then you got to do that for three claims. So your intro is going to have the breakdown that I just talked about there. Your body paragraphs are going to identify a claim, identify if it's using ethos, pathos, or logos, and then identify whether it's weakening or strengthening his overall argument in the essay. And then the conclusion, which just a brief summary, I'll let you read that. So this actual process of writing this essay, I'm going to stop my screen share here. Writing is a process. I know a lot of people are of the habit of like, when is this due? And then knocking the whole thing out the night before it's due or the day of. I used to do that. I don't look down at people who do that. Um, and my guess is, like every class I teach, most of you are going to be taking 4, 5 classes. Maybe you're working 30 or more hours a week, maybe full time. Maybe you've got kids. Maybe you've got other family obligations. Maybe you're trying to have a relationship, God forbid, right? So I'm not going to judge you if what you do is wait till the last minute because you've got so much on your plate. What I am going to tell you is writing is a, not all of my videos for these essays are going to be this long, I promise. Writing is a process. It's not a thing you sit down and do and then you're done. It's a process. And so the assignments that you will be doing leading up to the final draft of your essay, you're going to start by making an outline, and you'll see the video on that. Then you're going to finish that outline. You're going to fill in the rest of the outline and turn that into your rough draft. Then there's going to be a week where you guys give each other feedback. Um, for those of you who turn in the rough drafts, you'll be asked to give feedback for 3 of your classmates, um, answering very specific questions that I'm asking you to answer. And then you'll take your feedback from your classmates and make whatever revisions for the final draft and turn it in. And then I am not giving any feedback because I teach 5 classes at 2 schools. Uh, I'm not giving any feedback for the first several parts of those assignments. When you turn in the final draft and I grade it, then I'll be giving you detailed feedback about where it's working and where it might need improvement. And then if you earn less than a 90, you'll be able to take my feedback, revise, and resubmit it for a higher grade. Okay, going back to sharing my screen. I think that actually might be everything I need to say, but yeah, outline, rough draft, peer review, final draft. Oh, and then yeah, so the outline and the rough draft, whatever, in this paragraph here, the outline and the rough draft should both be written as fast as possible. And I mean that. The whole point of writing is getting it down on paper and then making it good as you revise it. Nothing worth reading was ever good. In fact, everything worth reading started off as crap, and then the author fixed it through the revision process. So just get your outline written as fast as possible and then fill it in as fast as possible and turn it from an outline into a rough draft. Honestly, don't worry about how much it sucks. It's supposed to suck. That's what the peer review is for. And then you'll be making whatever revisions and turning in the final draft. And then if I've got more feedback for you, you can take that feedback and resubmit for a higher grade, which I've already said, and now I'm rambling on. So looking here into requirements where it says video goes here, this is obviously the video you're looking at right now. 1,000 words minimum plus a works cited page. You notice there are links throughout this thing. If you click on the works cited link here, it just takes you to a page I've made about how to write a flawless works cited page. Anyway, 1,000 words minimum, no more than 1,500 words, please. Please be kind to my old eyes and make sure your essay is double spaced. Single spaced essay, I can't even read single spaced essays anymore. I'm just going to give them a 0 and ask you to fix it, and then I'll happily grade it again. The only source you need is the essay, Notes of a Native Son. No other sources are allowed, so no need for that stuff. And then the essay needs to follow all of the instructions in the procedure section up here, which is all of this. And what I do want to point out one last thing. If you struggle with MLA formatting, there is an English student essay template right here. And excuse me. And it is very slow to load, but it's just it's a pre-formatted essay that I made for you because I'm awesome. And you just have to change, obviously, student name to your name, student last name to your last name, all that crap. And then it's formatted correctly. You just have to start like writing it. Actually, I would not even start writing. When you finally have your rough draft, then start pasting it in here, and it's got the correct formatting. You don't have to stress the formatting stuff because formatting is a pain in the ass that no one should really have to spend time stressing about. And then all the rest of this is pretty standard stuff. College level spelling, grammar, punctuation, blah, blah, blah. MLA format. No block quotes. It's 1,000 words. There's no need for any of that nonsense in an essay this short. So, yeah, I think that's everything that needs to be said. Certainly, it's everything that's going to be said tonight. If you have questions while you're working on this, please text me on Remind. You can also email me on Canvas, but I'm slower to respond if you do that. And also, I just want to say this. You can text me on Remind 24/7. And I mean any time of the day or night. My phone, I don't let Remind chirp at me on my phone. So if I'm asleep, it's not going to wake me up, and I'll respond to you when I wake up in the morning. Or if I have insomnia, which I am known to have occasionally, I'll respond to you at 3 in the morning. But yeah, seriously, please respond to me or text me on Remind anytime, day or night, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with answers to your questions. I am going to stop talking now. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.